So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Trading Every Player rebuild series, and today's going to be the Portland Trail Blazers. As we slowly approach the end of this series, I will continue to somewhat explain the way that it works. I'm sure the majority of you are very familiar with it, but just in case you are not, I will give you a quick little overview right here. We're going to start at the beginning of the 2024-2025 season. Of course, we have the entire Trailblazers roster at our hand. We are going to trade away every single player that is currently on this Blazers team. Of course, we'll have no say in any of the deals. End goal is to win a championship. Nobody currently on the Blazers is welcome back. And yeah, you guys are pretty familiar with it at this point. So this has been a really fun series. I've been really enjoying it. It seems like you guys have been as well. And only two more to go after this. And those two teams are the Utah Jazz and the Brooklyn Nets. Of course, I will likely be getting to them next week as we slowly but surely wrap this series up. But from you guys, I'm looking for some video ideas. Had a lot of good feedback lately. And trust me, I am seeing all of it. I promise you that. I'm continuing to look for ideas. I'm not saying that your ideas are bad. We just always are looking for more. And anything you guys got for me, let me hear it down below in the comment section, whether it's a new series, that we do all 30 teams for, whether it's rebuild challenges, historic rebuilds, whatever it is. Love to hear you guys' input down below in the comment section. So I'm excited for this one today with the Blazers. Let's get into it. Now, I want to quickly start out this video by saying if you watched yesterday's rebuild, I'm sure you were, able to comprehend that there were some obvious audio issues going on, and it pissed me off to no end, and I spent about an hour kind of trying to troubleshoot that, and I think that everything should be back to normal, the way it is at this point. So if anything sounds a bit off or there's any weird cuts, I will try to fix it when I go to edit this video, but I just wanted to let you guys know we should be good as of now. All right, let's get into the rebuild and why you are all here. Of course, we're not going to spend a ton of time kind of discussing this Trailblazers roster because we're not going to have any of these players throughout this rebuild, but they are in the middle of a rebuild themselves in real life. And obviously there's some young talent here. There's some nice veteran pieces. And my one goal and kind of biggest hope right now is to hopefully get some pretty good return for some of these guys. So let's just get into it, man. We will start off with the highest overall player, as we always do. That will be Anthony Simons, who's 25 years old. He's an 83 overall. He got 2 years left on his contract and is apparently only 3 stars in terms of trade value. So we have 26 different offers for him. Some probably include another player. Some probably do not. We will scroll through all of them with our eyes closed, as we always do, and we will stop and find a trade right about now. It's going to bring me a first-round pick from the Miami Heat and Duncan Robinson. Certainly not my favorite choice out there, but it is what we found ourselves with here today, and it is something we are desperately going to need to look to improve upon, because that is not going to cut it if we were getting deals like that. Next up is going to be DeAndre Ayton, who I don't really know what to make of DeAndre Ayton's career at this point. I feel like he has something left to give. I just don't know how much better it's going to get. Stop. We're going to get Jordan Poole and Marcus Smart here from the Washington Wizards, and in return, it is going to be DeAndre Ayton and Denny Avdia as well. What I should have done is moved Avdia to the 3. That overall probably would have jumped a bit, but Jordan Poole, Marcus Smart, all right. I mean, some okay role players, I guess, at that point of their respective careers. Robert Williams, I miss you every day, my friend. I desperately, desperately do. If I include him in a trade with like Shaedon Sharpe, just because again the money only is like 18 million. All right, 12 offers is enough for them. Also, I love Shaedon Sharpe. I think he's going to be really good for a really long time. 12 different offers here, and 3, 2, and a 1. Going to be Bobby Portis Jr. and Gary Trent Jr. from the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, this is not my favorite trade for a couple different reasons. The first and kind of biggest reason would be that Bobby Portis and Gary Trent Jr. Are both going to be unrestricted free agents this offseason. And then second, I just don't really think I have either of these players in my long-term plans. But again, that's part of the challenge that we deal with in these videos. Next up is going to be Jeremy Grant. I have no idea what Portland's going to look to do with Jeremy Grant. In real life, I mean, he's 30, he's making, close to 30 million, which crazy enough is actually not a ton of money in today's NBA, but it's certainly not a contract that you can just flip very easily. So I'll be interested. Stop. Isaac Okoro, Max Strus from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I honestly can't say confidently that I feel like we've won any of these trades. Like, I feel like, normally there's at least 1 or 2 where I'm like, all right, maybe we got the best of the team that we made the deal with, but that's not really the case today, if I'm being completely honest with you. If I do Klingon and Henderson together, all right, nothing there. If I do Henderson and Kamara, only 5, that's not enough. We'll just do Scoot Henderson by himself, only about 11 offers for him here. So what we're going to actually do, eyes will remain closed. We do this from time to time. We're going to stop right now. Eyes are still closed. We're actually going to go 1 to the left. That gives me Rudy Gobert and Rob Dillingham. Or it would have been, I can't get Shaedon Sharpe back anyway, so that wouldn't have mattered. I know there have been questions on this before, the way this works. Of course, we have the rules set in place that I can't trade away and, any other players that I've acquired, at least until the first offseason. As you can see, Jordan Poole will be in this deal, and yes, we are going to put this through. And for those of you asking, saying, hey, you just got Jordan Poole, why are you not waiting till the first offseason to trade him? That is because the CPU put him in this trade. I did not, include him in the trade offers that I was going out and looking for. So we're going to put this through. I know I get questions from that from time to time, and so we're going to make this deal here with Minnesota, pick up Rob Dillingham and Rudy Gobert. So yeah, I mean, again, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I think the Rudy Gobert contract is not great, to put it nicely, but we will continue making our way through this Trailblazers roster. All right, 13 offers here for Kamara and Donovan Clingan. Again, I just like to get some young players and or draft picks in return. We're going to be pretty bad, I can already tell. Stop. Nick Richards, Tyus Jones, another one of my not so favorite deals because I get Tyus Jones and he pretty much is gone after the first season, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it, but it's the game we play. All right, slowly but surely getting to the end of this list. Next up, I believe, will be Delano Banton. If we do him and like Jabari Walker, I think once we, get to this stage with the mid 70 overalls, it's not too bad of an idea to kind of double up just to kind of expedite this process because I know it does take a while. Stop. Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Minott from the Minnesota Timberwolves. I will say the one, I guess, somewhat positive thing about the deals we've made so far is that not a single one of them has included a first-round pick going out. We've gotten a first-round pick in return, that from the Miami Heat, but we haven't given up any draft, real draft assets, which is really big when we're going to be as bad as we likely will be. All right, slowly but surely making our way to the end of this list. Matisse Thybulle, him and Chris Murray, and then I think after that it actually might just be Rupert. I think it actually is. I think if I can do all three of these guys, all right, there's only 2 offers. I'll do Matisse Thybulle separately. We'll do Rupert and Murray together. And yeah, 23 offers, and then the final guy after this deal will be Matisse Thybulle. Stop. Daniel Tice in a first-round draft pick. That actually feels like a really big win. Actually, I'm almost 100% positive Daniel Tice actually decided to go play overseas, and he's no longer in the NBA, but what do I know? 17 offers here for Matisse Thybulle. I believe this will be our final trade before we kick off year 1, and it is going to come with the... going to be the Toronto Raptors. Pretty much about as useless as a trade can get. All right, let me just confirm that everybody who is currently on this team did not start out this video as a Portland Trailblazer. I believe we have solidified it and gotten everybody. Of course, we do not trade away the two-way players, but I think we've put ourselves in a position right now where we, of course, have a brand new roster, and we'll certainly be losing quite a few basketball games if I had to guess. We are ready to kick off our first season here in Portland. I have finalized the rotation, and I'm going to explain to you my thought process right now. Here's how it's going to look for the starting 5. Rob Dillingham, Marcus Smart, Isaac Okoro, Bobby Portis Jr., and Rudy Gobert. Now, Rob Dillingham is actually the lowest in terms of overall of the 3-point guards that we have. But in what I am going to consider pretty much a throwaway and developmental season, I would be remiss if I did not play maybe the one young and exciting player we have with somewhat potential on this team. So Dillingham's going to start playing the most minutes out of anybody, and yeah, he's certainly not the best player on this team. He's 100% not, but he is going to hopefully develop to the point where he can be a very impactful piece for us, maybe by year 3. Marcus Smart is going to be my starting shooting guard. It is what it is. It's just there's not a lot of great options there in terms of long-term players, but Marcus Smart's going to be it for now and hopefully play some pretty good defense. I also love Marcus. Isaac Okoro starting at the 3 for 2 different reasons. First and foremost, 2K suggested it, or him over Max Strus. And then second, he's younger than Max Strus and maybe a little bit more potential there. Power forward center combo, not really anything too crazy or surprising. They are both the highest overall at their listed positions. Tyus Jones, who's going to be, of course, leaving after this one season, hitting unrestricted free agency. Going to be my 6th man off the bench. You got Nick Richards behind him. Max Strus at the backup 3. Duncan Robinson, the backup 2 guard. And then Daniel Tice is actually my backup 4 because it was either him or PJ Tucker. Made a decision. And then Gary Trent Jr., Dante DiVincenzo, just not really getting any minutes. Neither is Tucker. Obviously, McGowan's been not. They're, these two especially are certainly good enough to be in NBA rotations. And they're not playing for a couple different reasons. Gary Trent Jr. is leaving this offseason. And my kind of thought process is if Duncan Robinson plays and plays somewhat well, maybe he can boost that trade value where we'll likely lose Trent for nothing. And then DiVincenzo, I don't really know. There's not really a rhyme or a reason, but we gave you the explanation there on Dillingham starting. And then, I don't know, I guess Tyus Jones is just a bit of a higher overall. So we're going to be bad. There is no doubt about that in my mind. There is not a lot of scoring with this team whatsoever. And I think it is certainly a possibility that we are picking in the top 3. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. First season here was as advertised. We were not good. We were 22-60, not good. It's obviously, probably for the best, right? If this team somehow ended up with like 38 or 40 wins. I would have been pretty annoyed because it would have hurt our draft pick, but you know what? We are exactly where I thought and almost where I hoped we were going to be here for year one. SGA, he's your MVP. Rob Dillingham does win Rookie of the Year, so I'm leaving here with something, right? I will take it. Shooting split certainly could be a bit better, especially from the field goal or from the field, but not bad. RJ Barrett coming off the bench for Toronto. I continuously have seen this, and I'm not really sure who is starting over him. Is it Grady Dick? I'm just not really sure on a Raptors team that's clearly rebuilding how they can't find a way to get one of their better players into the starting five. Wemby wins Depoy, and then Thompson most improved. SGA also wins Clutch Player of the Year, and 59 wins there in Dallas. Gives Jason Kidd a Coach of the Year. All right, we'll look at the standings. We know we're probably at the bottom, which we certainly are, and we were tied with the Wizards for the worst record in all of basketball. So here are the numbers across the board. Bobby Portis Jr. led us in scoring. Rob Dillingham, Marcus Smart, Isaac Okoro, Jones, Gobert, Strus, Robinson, Richards, Tice. Pretty much as I expected, there's not a lot of scoring with this team. You know, we are a pretty well-balanced attack. We had 7 guys in double figures in terms of points per game. But there's just not really, you know, a 1A. There's not an alpha scorer on this team, which is definitely something I'd like to address this offseason. So we will, of course, simulate through the playoffs, see who ends up getting it done, hoisting Larry O'Brien. And it is going to be Kyrie Irving and the Mavericks up against Giannis and the Bucks. This game loves Dallas, even after the Luka trade. Dallas gets it done. Anthony Davis, your finals MVP. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Okay. Time for the first offseason. We're going to see some, you know, notable names retire here. Of course, you know, LeBron James being one of them, pretty much retires after the first season in all of these videos. So the draft lottery is going to be big for us. We have the same odds as, well, the Utah Jazz, aka the Thunder, because this game sucks with pick protections, and then the New York Knicks, which is technically the Wizards. That pick is protected, I believe. So we end up picking second overall. I'm not super mad about that. Oh, good, the Jazz actually did get their draft pick back. Second overall is not bad. We can get a good player there. I don't know if it's going to be Cooper Flagg. Honestly, I've drafted him a decent amount. I wouldn't mind looking to get somebody else, but we'll see the way the draft goes. I know a lot of Blazers fans are not huge fans of Chauncey Billups. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Ime's sitting there. I'd love to get Ime. Why Ime was not retained by Houston is beyond me, but I would like to make a play to get him. At the end of the day, I was probably going to fire Billups at some point anyways, so might as well just kind of get it out of the way. If I don't get Ime or... is this... Oh, I thought it was Jamal Crawford for a second. Yeah, no. A lot of these ratings aren't so great. Billy Donovan's here. Will Hardy's here. All right, I'll throw a little money at Will Hardy, maybe as like a last resort. And it looks like Will Hardy's the only guy that accepted. Not my first choice, actually my last choice, but he's the one we're going to move forward with, even if the ratings aren't that much better. Okay, the second overall pick along with the 24th overall selection. Why do we have the Warriors pick? Huh. Because don't the Heat technically have the Warriors pick? Because wasn't it sent to Miami in the Jimmy Butler deal? I thought it was. I'll fact check it. You guys know me. 2K's really bad at the picks and the protections and where everything's supposed to be. I just want to make sure I'm actually supposed to have this pick. And it slowly hit me how I got this pick. It was in the Duncan Robinson trade. I am supposed to have it. For those of you who probably realized that immediately, thank you, because I probably feel and look like a pretty big idiot right now, but we're good. All right, Rudy Gobert is probably going to be moved on from. Now, is he going to be pre-draft? That I don't know. I think there's a world out there where if I find the right deal, I'd be willing to move him immediately. And that's not a shot at Rudy Gobert. It's just the overall reality that his impact here in 2K is not nearly felt as much as it is in real life. So could go after Claxton. I actually don't hate that idea for a couple reasons. I'd say Rudy Gobert is definitely a better player than Nick Claxton. I'm not going to sit here and debate that because he is. But when you get into some of the main differences, like the money that's being made, the age, how progression versus regression will work, I don't think that's actually the worst deal out there. So I'm thinking of taking that. I really, I mean, I might. And again, it's probably not just in terms of a win now move the best decision, but Rudy Gobert is probably going to be an 82 or 83 by the time next season starts, where Claxton may be an 81 or 82, but you know what? He's younger, he's making less money, and we're not really giving up a lot. So I'm going to pull off that deal there with the Brooklyn Nets, save a little bit of money and get a little bit younger as well. We, of course, have 2 first-round picks. Utah ends up going with Cooper Flagg. Not a big surprise there, which leaves us with a choice, right? We could go Dylan Harper. We could go Ace Bailey. I would say pretty confidently, you know, 2 of the best players in this draft class, Gordon Mean, Trey Johnson. I wouldn't also mind, you know, considering at least a trade, because I feel like in these rebuilds and these situations specifically, I tend to look for, you know, okay. I see, I've noticed something, and I know I've mentioned this before, but it feels like every time I throw up a blockbuster trade in the draft specifically, it always feels easier to trade for big names. Like LaMelo Ball is sitting here. I could just go get Coop. Wow. Okay. I obviously have a lot to choose from here, and there's a lot of really, really immensely talented players here. I'm thinking I'm going to go with Mobley and solidify that front court. LaMelo is sitting here, though, but there's also a world out there where I let Rob Dillingham have another year. I'm not sure how I got those two mixed up. You know what? I think I'm going to go move ahead with Mobley. Halliburton's another guy I don't get a ton, which I certainly would like. I do get Şengün just a lot, even if him and the 9th pick would be, a really big, win in my opinion, but the center spot's pretty much locked up at this point. So I'm going with Evan Mobley. We also have to give up the 24th overall pick in this draft. We also get a future first-round draft pick, which could be another nice trade asset. And again, I don't mind the idea of drafting somebody, pretty much any rebuild, but if a guy like Evan Mobley comes up for, I got to take that. All right, that's fine by me. Bobby Portis Jr. going to test free agency as expected. I will bring back Josh Minott. We are not going to qualify any of the two-way players. Of course, they're not supposed to be on this team anyways. And then we will hit free agency here, where we do have a couple names. I think I'd like to pay Bobby Portis. If we had any money to sign any real free agents, I'd probably, look to sign or spend the money elsewhere, but we don't. We're already over the cap, so Bobby Portis, welcome back. I know for a fact I was going to lose, Gary Trent Jr., Tyus Jones, Tice. The terrible loss of 40-year-old PJ Tucker, who somehow didn't retire, is certainly going to not kill me. But I will bring Bobby back, continue to likely, come off the bench for us, not continue, but will be a bench piece for us as we progress through this rebuild. Another name that I am very much aware I have gotten a few times throughout recent rebuilds, and I will certainly look to, take a little break from it, doing it forward or moving forward. But Jaden Ivey's 23 years old. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you will know that I'm a big Jaden Ivey believer, and he is clearly the best option here out of the 5 players that will be in this deal. So picking up our future shooting guard, I think, is a really big move and one that's going to benefit us. Ultimately, moving on from 2 31-year-old expiring contracts without giving up a single first-round draft pick is a really big win, in my opinion. So super excited to have Ivey here. I don't think I'm going to hang on to KCP. We also got to figure out what we want to do at the starting small forward spot. But other than that, we're going to let Rob Dillingham rock the starting point guard spot heading into year 2. So I think we got 1 or 2 more trades coming. Now, in terms of the stars, the value that's going back and forth, we might be overpaying. We're giving up, 6.5 stars for a 3-star player, but adding a guy like Lauri Markkanen could really solidify this starting 5. It's going to take away some of the depth, no doubt, but I'm not worried about it. And if you're wondering why, all 3 of these players are in here, it's really to make the money work. Now, there was a world out there where I could have given up Nick Richards instead of Isaac Okoro, but ultimately I'm more willing to part with Okoro than I was Richards. So Utah agreed to that. Maybe could have got a draft pick as well, but that really solidifies the starting 5. So at this point, we're just looking for some bench pieces, except the starting and backup front court, because we're good there. So 1 through 3, looking for some names right now. Not an elite list of players by any means, but hopefully we can get somebody that can be a relatively nice piece. Like Amir Coffey would probably be about as good as it's going to get in terms of backup small forward. The backup point guard spot. These options are not great whatsoever, but 27-year-old Drew Smith, willing to come here. Team option, maybe? Nope, that definitely doesn't like that. All right, we'll just go to a 1-year deal. That's fine by me. Seriously? Oh, it has to be a minimum. I don't know if he's going to take it or not. Please? Cool. Welcome to the team, Drew. And then the shooting guard spot, which, again, it's not going to be great. This is something we'll address next offseason. Sam Merrill is just as a sharpshooter off the bench, more than fine for 1 season. So, the bottom end of this rotation certainly takes a bit of a hit, but again, this starting 5 specifically has upgraded significantly. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. I will be very, very interested to see how things shake out for this season, and you know what? I think they could be good, right? I know the West is loaded, but I think there's a possibility this team sneaks into the playoff. Now, something that I am noticing and jumping out at me immediately is that Lauri Markkanen is regressing. Why? I have no idea. Now, Lauri hasn't had a great season in real life, but to go down 2 overalls is kind of crazy in my opinion. Now, this version of Lauri would be great. It's likely not going to look like that, but just kind of crazy. Rob Dillingham has progressed on the bright side. He's up to an 81 overall. Him and Jaden Ivey now new backcourt mates. Of course, we just discussed Markkanen. Evan Mobley, who we traded for the 2nd overall pick, is going to slide in beautifully. He is our highest overall player. And then Nick Claxton, who's, still an 81 overall. It's fine. Bobby Portis Jr. will be my 6th man off the bench. The bench minutes are, a little skewed from what they normally look like just because the lower end is dreadful, to put it nicely. Nick Richards behind him, Amir Coffey, Sam Merrill, and Drew Smith. Rounding out the 10-man rotation, of course, new head coach with Will Hardy as well, and I'm not really sure what to expect. I have high hopes, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Well, I do not have great news, my friends. We finished up the 2nd season with a record of 36-46. definitely leaves something to be desired. I thought this team would be a little bit better. And while we were, a little bit better than the season before, I just thought this could be a playoff team, which, obviously we will not be. Here in year 2, Wemby is, he's here. He's your MVP. Cooper Flagg went number 1 overall and is your rookie of the year. Dalton Knecht coming off the bench for the Lakers is your 6th man. Wemby also wins DPOY. Whoa. Jalen Tyson, most improved. I couldn't speak for a second. Devin Booker, clutch player of the year, and Steve Kerr, still getting it done, man. Coach of the year. Wow, we are actually in the play-in. That is so incredibly sad. I actually am hoping that we lose in the play-in, and I'll explain it to you in just a moment. But you saw we are the 10 seed. It's actually incredibly sad that there's even a legitimate possibility that a team that won 36 games could actually potentially sneak into the playoffs. All right, let's talk about the numbers. This is something that I'm going to certainly be diving into. Ivy and Dillingham were our leading scorers. Mobley, Larry Marketing, Bobby Portis, Claxton, Merrill, Richards, Coffey, and then Smith. Rebounding department, and then assists. So, nothing there jumped out at me too crazy, right? Like, it felt like everybody's numbers were kind of on par with what I expected them to be, but obviously something has to go a little bit better moving forward. So, I hope we lose this game, and that is because our first-round pick, technically owned by the Charlotte Hornets, it is lottery protected. Even if 2K doesn't say it is, it is. Let's see what happens here against the... Okay, good. We're going to be in the lottery, which means we're going to have our pick, which is certainly good as a trade asset, or whether we draft another bench piece. We'll sort it out. Holy shit, Kyrie Irving is backpacking the Dallas Mavericks right now. Him and Karl Anthony Towns, two conference finals MVPs. Cat also wins finals MVPs. Okay, final offseason. I think there is something to be said about making another really big move. I don't know exactly what that is. It is going to say our pick is projected to the Bulls. Really? Let me just read this one more time. Oh, it is the Bulls. Excuse me. I'm reading this off Fanspo, which is always the most accurate source for pick protections and pick swaps and all that stuff. Technically, the pick last year was top 14 protected, which is the lottery. It was lottery protected. 2K said it was unprotected. They're dumb as shit. Don't listen to them. Portland's first round pick to Chicago, protected for selections 1 through 14 in 2025. It was number 2 overall last year. We obviously got to keep it. 1 through 14 in 2026. It is going to be that, so we're going to get it back. 1 through 14 in 27, along with 1 through 14 in 28. If it has not conveyed by then, Portland will give up a 2028 second-round pick to the Bulls. I'm taking back my draft pick because I'm supposed to. I give them up when I'm not supposed to have them. I take them back when I'm supposed to have them. It's just the way the world works. Okay, 2K actually got the protection right for now. So 10th overall pick, which is good. Let's take a look here. Will Hardy did not have a good season by any means. The one thing that makes me a little nervous is that I don't know... I could maybe try to get Joe Mazzulla, but other than his... I'm going to try to get Joe Mazzulla. I don't know if this is a good idea. He's going to be the one guy I offer a contract to, and hopefully the, Mazzulla ball, as we like to call it here in Celtics Nation, ends up working out. 10th overall pick. I'm going to consider a few different things. We also did number 22 from the Timberwolves, and then 15 in round 2. So without a doubt, last season, one of this team's biggest weaknesses was the bottom end of the bench, and really just the bench as a whole. We had a really solid 6-man option, even a decent 7th-man option, but we clearly needed to make some upgrades. And while I did consider potentially including these draft picks in a bigger, more blockbuster sense of a deal, I think I'd like to add a bench piece to this team. So I'm including all 3 picks we have in this year's draft in hopes of landing the number 6 overall pick from the Miami Heat. This is number 10. This is like 22. This is a second-round pick. So I don't know if they're going to take this. I'm not giving up any other first. So if there's a way to get this done without, having to give up a ton, I'll do it. So we'll just go kind of down the line. Now, who owns the 7th overall pick? I should have checked before, but I did not. That is going to be the Hornets. Cool. We have the 7th overall pick. Again, not sure who's going to be here, who we're going to draft, if they're going to be really beneficial. Point guard was certainly one of the positions we lacked at in terms of backups last year. So Darius Acuff Jr., welcome to Portland. Going to be my new backup point guard in all likelihood. 77 overall. Beautiful. Rob Dillingham will be brought back. We're going to make a decision on his starting future moving forward. Jaden Ivey will likely remain as well. Big Jaden Ivey fan. You all know that. So we're just going to pay Richards, and I'm going to pay Ivy. They're both going to, ask for some money, but they are both very much worth it, in my opinion. So, now comes the real big decision. Do we go ahead and do we swing a bigger, kind of blockbuster-ish deal, if you will? Do we want to make one more major upgrade in this starting 5? I haven't honestly decided yet. I think there is a move out there, but it, of course, has to be, right. So let me see what I can find. I have decided to make a big trade. That trade is going to come with the Atlanta Hawks. It's going to land us both Dyson Daniels and Onyeka Okongwu. We are sending out Bobby Portis Jr., Nick Claxton, 2 future first-round draft picks. Now, the good news about this trade is it's going to give me a little flexibility because it is likely going to result in Jaden Ivey being my new starting small forward again. Well, actually, maybe I move Daniels. He is 6'7". All right, I'm not super worried about which guy plays there. It's the NBA in the mid-2020s. It positionless is basically the way I look at things. So Daniels will start at the 3, most likely. which now leaves me with a couple different pathways moving forward. They have the option to leave everything the way it is right now, or I could potentially do something a little bit different. I could move Evan Mobley to the center spot, and I could also move Markkanen to the power forward spot. This would have a Kongu coming off the bench. I understand we did just bring back Nick Richards. Maybe I move him to the backup power forward spot. I think that's the way it's going to work best. Now, I understand that's risky, but I think it is going to work, just for the way we're trying to do things, right? I think getting the best players in this starting five, and again, Evan Mobley's certainly capable of playing center at this point in his career. I think these are all going to be really beneficial moves that are certainly going to help us win some more basketball games, because that is certainly something we are looking to do, as the first 2 years of this video have not been super successful. So, right now, I would like to find a couple new backups. No disrespect to Amir Coffey. If I can upgrade either the backup small forward spot or shooting guard spot, I would certainly look to do it. So let's include these 2 first-round picks and just see what's out there, right? I know we're not going to get a superstar or anything like that, but ooh, Larson's sitting here. Pell Larson, Monte Morris. Again, I'm trying to get younger players just because I know they're going to progress versus regress. All right, we're going to take Larson here. Another deal with the Miami Heat. Welcome to the team, and then a new backup shooting guard and/or small forward. Certainly something I'd like to consider. Sadiq Bey, Tristan da Silva. Ooh, Tristan da Silva I think would actually be a nice addition. Maybe? Cool, welcome to the team. All right, this is going to be it. I understand it's risky. We have not even been in the playoffs yet, but you know what? I think this is the best team we've had so far, and I think there's a real possibility of us making some noise. Third and final season here in Portland. We had a pretty busy offseason, made some pretty big moves. Ultimately, there were a lot of hard decisions, and I think we kind of came away with the best rotation possible. Now, does that mean it's an automatic championship? No, that's just not really a thing. But I think we've put ourselves in a really good position, and we're a pretty inexperienced team collectively. This team does have some experience. Rob Dillingham has developed quite nicely. He's up to an 85. Jaden Ivey remains my starting shooting guard. Of course, brought in Dyson Daniels. Larry Markkanen and Evan Mobley are, technically our new front court, even though both of them were here last year. Tristan da Silva will be my 6th man off the bench, and Yeka Kongu not far behind him. Nick Richards, Darius Acuff Jr., and Pell Larson. So, I think improving the bottom end of the bench specifically was something that I was certainly looking to do. And now the bench minutes are back to, what they normally are. So I'm pretty excited for this team, and it's now or never. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the playoffs. It is easily our best season yet. 63-19 is the final record, and hopefully we are well on our way to a championship, because if not, the video is technically a failure. Wemby wins a 2nd straight MVP. Cameron Boozer is now a member of the Phoenix Suns, and he is your rookie of the year. VJ Edgecombe coming off the bench for Brooklyn somehow. I don't know. Wemby wins Depoy. Ace Bailey most improved. Giannis is your clutch player of the year, and our guy, Mr. Joe Mazzulla. I love Joe. Coach of the year. We're the 1 seed. You can see it right there. Here's a look at the full standings in the West, and here is a look at the East. We had the best record in basketball. All right, here are some of the numbers. Jaden Ivey once again leading this team in scoring. Rob Dillingham not far behind. Evan Mobley, Larry Markkanen, Daniels, Da Silva, Acuff, Okongwu, Larson, and then Richards. Led in rebounds by Mobley, led in assists by Ivey. Round 1, us in Houston. Not really a nice way to spin it. This is not my favorite first-round matchup. The West is loaded. There are not a lot of favorable matchups, but let's just see how this thing goes here as we take on Houston. Quick 2-0 lead. 3-0 lead. We sweep. Okay, getting worked up about nothing. We're moving on to Minnesota here. Scoot Henderson. I forgot we traded him there. That sucks. Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Randall, Chris Sinak, Poole, Miles Bridges, Corey Kispert. Okay, they're pretty strong at relatively every spot, so yeah, let's just take this one game by game. We go up 3-2. Going to game 7. Thank God. Well, I'm hoping this is not... Oh, are you... Now, what am I supposed to do about this, right? Okay. Luka is now a Spur. He pairs up with Victor Wembanyama. There are not a lot of teams in the NBA that Luka Doncic wouldn't be the best player on, but the Spurs are one of them at this point, because Wemby's won back-to-back MVPs. He's 3 overalls higher and is just clearly the face of this franchise. But I'm nervous. How this team didn't win like 70 games. I understand Royce O'Neal is their starting power forward, but still, you got Castle, Vassell, Charles Bassey, Malachi Branham, Schroeder. I'm terrified. How are you a 3 seed? How are you a 3 seed? We're 2-2 with them, go up 3-2. Going to game 7 again, and we, oh my God, won the game somehow. Mobley must have done a fantastic job on Wemby. At least I hope he did. And we're taking on the defending champion New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Sohan in here. DeJounte Murray now here as well. So it looks like they maybe flipped OG Anunoby and somehow landed Sohan and or DeJounte Murray. I don't really know. All right, 2-0. 3-0. We're just going to sweep them. We're heading back to MSG, or not back, we're heading to MSG for a potential sweep of the New York Knicks. And can we get it done here? Back and forth in game 4. Looks like it's going to be a close one. I guess I'll just see you guys in there. We are currently down 3 with just over 3 minutes left to go here at the Garden, and we are, feeling pretty good right now. I don't want to confidently say that we can come back and win this one because, of course, as I'm sure you're all aware, if you've watched me before play this game, I'm not necessarily great at it, but I will do my absolute best to get this done right now. So I got to play some... Tristan, that's not me. Don't even give me that. All right, I have 2 timeouts. I don't really want to burn one because there are certainly a situation... What the hell? Is there an earthquake? There's certainly a situation where I could need the timeout. Marketing, big 3 on the way, and he gets it to go. Now New York's going to take a timeout, and Marketing drilling a 3 to tie this ball game up with 2:51 left. All right, let me just put the starters in the game. Okay, yep, all of them are in there. Perfect. That's what I was looking to do. Obviously, including, Dyson Daniels, Rob Dillingham is a good decision at this point, in my opinion. And I almost would like to find a way to get Dyson Daniels on Jalen Brunson, but I understand that probably cause a mismatch somewhere. They're going to run some 2 off-ball screens for Josh Hart. Why am I jumping at that? I'm so fucking bad at this game, dude. Low-scoring affair. Not something you see too often in the NBA today. So let's call for a little screen off the ball. I'd like to see if we can get a shooter open. Marketing going to come off the ball again. Marketing, another deep 3. Can't get that one to go. Mobley can't quite pull down the rebound. God, that would have been fun. DeJounte Murray going to try to drive against Jay Nivey. Good defense right there. Can't fucking 4'8" Jalen Brunson is grabbing rebounds, right? Where are you, Lowry? Where are you, Mobley? Come on, dude. Oh, you're just killing me. Over here. Swing it. Can I have a screen? Jay Nivey. What? I'm being trolled. I'm being trolled. There's no fucking way that we're missing open dunks. Oh my God. Take me out to dinner before you fuck me, 2K. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason that this shit is happening right now. No rhyme or reason. Now we got to push the pace a little bit here. DeJounte Murray. All right. We're going to close it back out here. We're going to get a pick here from Mobley with Dillingham. Drive down to the rim. Thank you. That's how you finish a dunk, right? Take notes, Jaden. God, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. 2-point game, 1:30 left on the clock. We're going to play some off-ball defense. We have not been having a lot of success playing on-ball. Jalen Brunson is just giving Rob Dillingham the business, and I cannot continue to sit here and allow that to happen. So I forget how you switch the matchups exactly. Is it? Nope, that's certainly not it. Let's see. No, none of that. It's something here. I forget exactly how you do it. Somebody probably knows. I certainly do not. All right, Jalen Brunson is at the free throw line. He knocked down the first one. Second one, any day now, Jalen. Well, I'm young, my friend. Second one is up, and it is good. All right, we're not taking a timeout. I'm not doing that. I hate the timeout shit. I think it ruins momentum. I think it makes NBA games way too long. Let's just keep dribbling, keep dribbling, keep... Oh my God, he got the ball back. I didn't... What am I doing? What? Fucking trolling. I looked at the camera. All right. I don't know if we're going to win this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it a buck. I think we might be going back to Portland for a game 5, which is, in all honesty, fine by me. But I sold this one. And for those of you who like gameplay, this is why I do not get it super often. Brunson, long jump shot, doesn't get it. So we're not 100% out of it yet, but we got to play pretty much flawless hoops from here on out. Ivy just continued to work down lane. What am I doing? I genuinely, I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to lose this one, aren't we? Bridges going to go up, going to miss that one. All right. Again, this is pretty much some of the ugliest basketball I've ever seen in my life. Jay Nivey, big 3. Nope, this one's done. Well, I'd like to say this. I'm very happy this was not a, game 7 or something like... Thank you. Get the championship done. Evan Mobley, your finals MVP. Yeah, that's why I don't love gameplay, because I'm terrible at it, and I have pretty much never improved, and I probably never will. This was a fun rebuild, though. Again, we only have so many of these left to go, and I think we did put together a really, really good, really solid team. Little nervous because we hadn't even been in the playoffs as we entered year 3, but everything came together just at the right time and obviously ended up with some success. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As I mentioned, only 2 of these left to go, the Brooklyn Nets and the Utah Jazz. We'll likely be wrapping it up next week, and after that, looking for some series ideas. So let me know any other series and or video ideas down below in the comment section. Always open to feedback, and I really do appreciate it. So that's going to do it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.